The River and the Source. One night, in the smoky hut of a cage, a baby girl was born. The chief, Oderogogni, had already fathered 7 sons and expected another. But his child, loud and lusty in her first cry, was a daughter. He frowned at first, but later declared, "A home without daughters is like a spring without a source." That daughter was named Akoko, and she would become the matriarch of a lineage that would ripple through time like a mighty river. Akoko grew up in the village of Yimbo, spirited and intelligent, with a mind that questioned tradition and a heart that beat with fierce independence. She married Owur Kembo, a young chief of Sakwa, in a ceremony rich with Luo customs, cattle, songs, and blessings. Their union was strong, and Akoko bore him children, including a son named Obura and a daughter named Nyabera. But tragedy struck early. Owur Kembo died suddenly, and Akoko, still young, was left a widow. Worse, her brother-in-law Utieno tried to seize her husband's wealth and position. Akoko, defiant, took her case to the elders and won, a rare victory for a woman in a patriarchal society. She returned to Yimbo, her pride intact but her heart wounded. Years passed. Obura, her beloved son, joined the army and died in war. Nyabera, her daughter, married but lost her husband and children to disease. Oh, tragedy after tragedy. Grief weighed heavily on them both. Seeking solace, Nyabera turned to Christianity. Drawn by its promise of hope and healing, that's why he turned to Christianity. She joined Christianity. Akoko, though skeptical, respected her daughter's choice. Together, they moved to a Catholic mission in Alwar, where Nyabera found purpose and Akoko found peace. At the mission, Nyabera adopted a girl named Elizabeth. Bright and curious, Elizabeth grew up under the dual influence of tradition and faith. She excelled in school, eventually becoming a teacher. She married Mark Sigu, a devout Catholic and civil servant. Their union was a blend of intellect, love, and shared values. They had children, among them Vera, Becky, and Aoro. Vera, the eldest, was brilliant but emotionally distant. She pursued medicine, driven by ambition. Becky, beautiful and impulsive, chose a different path, modeling romance and rebellion. Aoro, thoughtful and kind, followed in his mother's footsteps and became a doctor. The siblings, though bound by blood, were shaped by different winds. Becky's story was the most turbulent. She fell in love with John Courtney, a charming but troubled man. Their relationship was passionate but unstable. Becky left home, chasing dreams and escaping expectations. She had a daughter, Joy, but the relationship crumbled. Becky spiraled into despair, addiction, and regret. Eventually, She returned home, broken and but seeking redemption. Her family welcomed her, not with judgment, but with love. Meanwhile, Vera married Dr. Wandia, a fellow medic. Their relationship was built on mutual respect and shared purpose. They had children and built careers, balancing tradition with modernity. Aoro too found love and meaning in his work, treating patients and mentoring young doctors. As the generation unfolded, the family faced new challenges: HIV/AIDS, corruption, cultural shifts, etc. But through it all, the spirit of Akoko endured. Her wisdom, strength, defiance echoed in her descendants. They were women and men who questioned, who loved, who lost, and who rose again. Akoko's death was quiet, dignified. She had lived through wars, betrayals, revolutions, name it. She had seen her lineage stretch across time and space. Her funeral was a celebration, not just of her life, but of the river she had begun. A river that flowed through Nyabera, through Elizabeth, through Vera, through Becky, and through Joy. A river that embraced change, a river that honored tradition, and a river that never stopped moving. The river and the source.